This podcast is intended for an adult audience over the age of 18. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed belong to us and are not representative of any employer, organization, or other individual. We are not experts. This podcast is not intended to be taken as professional advice.
Welcome.
Our safe word is pineapples.
I'm Dan.
I'm Sue.
Come with us as we navigate the lifestyle,
discover kinks,
and share what we've learned along the way. Welcome back to episode 10. Episode 10 of our podcast is about...
red flags.
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 Red flags, pink flags, all the flags. Lots of flags. So we're going to be talking about red flags today. And these are things that we have kind of cultivated over the years of being in the lifestyle as to being able to pick them out and see them.
Yeah, so I mean these are things for us that generally if we see them or we experience them, we become very cautious, very suspicious of what's going on.
Not all of them are bad. Like, some of them are false red flags. We've had some false ones where we thought it was a red flag and then we've misinterpreted it. But for the most part, I think once it gets to a red flag point, we're like, yeah, this is not going anywhere. It's not going to continue on anywhere from here. We're done. We're no longer having this conversation. And that's something that a lot of people need to be able to do. They need to figure out what these flags are, maybe see some. And we'll talk about some that we know of that we automatically see. But again, when you're in the lifestyle, you're going to have to reject people.
Yes.
And being able to reject people for whatever reason and having the knowledge and having the power, essentially, to go, you don't fit what we're looking for. You are not part of our dynamic in any way. This is not going to work out, so it's going to be a no, and I'm sorry about that. And that can be very hard for people. It's not always easy for us either.
No.
To say no. There's a lot of times we've come in contact with people that we've just like them as people, but it's just not sexually there. There's nothing that's going to go there. So we're going to talk about red flags. Some of them, a lot of these come from our interactions we have with single males, because we do play with single males.
Yes. And that, so like, for many couples, just being a single male is enough of a red flag.
That is not the case for us.
That is not the case for us. So we've learned to be very discriminatory when it comes to filtering through.
Yes.
And figuring out who we're going to play with.
You don't do the initial contact. I do the initial contact.
You do
so
the
I do
initial
the initial
contacts
filtering
for
through,
everyone. You do the initial filtering through.
I have to say, it goes... We're not the only one that has said this before, but it seems to go in waves where like we have like times where no one contacts us whatsoever, and then times where just everyone.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone's contacting us at all times of the day, times of the night. Sometimes a lot of the apps that we use, I've even turned off notifications or have them on silent notifications during those times because it's constant. It's nonstop. But when people contact me, they always... I always start immediately going through the vetting process and going through looking for red flags and seeing if they're coming up. So a lot of these might pertain to single guys over couples, and a lot of them they'll go back and forth. They can pertain to both of them as well, but we have a lot more experience vetting single guys over couples, I think.
I mean, I think it's also getting kind of close to equal.
It's getting close to equal, but over the years, it's been a lot of single males that we've played with that started to hone our red flag alerts. And again,
some of them do cross over to couples as well.
One of the
big ones is the discreet.
Discreet.
And So in the lifestyle, we all need to be discreet. This isn't safe for work.
No,
You can't talk about it with just any random person.
I just had someone ask me recently if, they asked the whole, like, how long you've been in the lifestyle. Are you open about it? Like, do your friends and family know? And I think I gave the best answer I could, which is that we're not hiding it, but we're also not announcing it when we go around.
I mean, if most just in normal, like, monogamous couples aren't announcing what they're doing in their bedroom anymore.
Hi, I'm Dan. I like missionary, and I like making sure that my wife's nipples get sucked on occasionally during sex.
Right? So, like, generally...
It is weird that seems to be, like, a thing that people believe of swingers and people who are in non-monogamous relationships, is that we do that. Like,
right, yeah, that we're talking about this with everyone. And we're gonna tell everyone. We're just gonna shout it from the rooftops. But generally... I'm gonna say like 99.99999% of people, when it comes to sexual conversations, they're not just bringing that out with anyone. So
it's not casual dinner conversation.
Right, it's not casual dinner conversation, regardless of what, your bedroom kinks might be. So when people start to really lean into I'm discreet, or I need you to be discreet, or we have to be discreet, then we start to wonder, what are you hiding from?
Well, that's what we consider like a pink flag. It's not red yet, because this is where I was talking before, where like we've had couples where we thought maybe this is a red flag coming up, but it ends up not being. It's not something that, like, it just goes on. We're like, oh, okay, we thought that was a red flag, but it wasn't. But that's where I would say it's a pink flag.
Right. Our pink flags are something seems off, but we need more information before we can make a accurate decision. An accurate judgment.
So yeah, when we get the people that really lean into, I need to be discreet. We have to be discreet about this. And I go, first off, I don't know you.
Right? Who am I going to tell?
Who am I going to tell? I don't know who you are, so I don't know anyone that you know as well. So who do you think I'm going to tell? I'm not going to find you at work or anything like that. I'm not going to know your friends or anything and talk to your friends about that. And even then, honestly, why should your friends care if you like threesomes, as far as I'm concerned? But I mean, that might be just skewed on our part.
It might just be skewed on our part. I mean, some people are super judgy. That being said, I mean, for a little devil's advocate, we did have one person contact us and attempt to blackmail you.
They did. It was fantastic. It was on a site called Sniffies, it's for gay and bisexual males to hook up. And I was actually on it looking for the possibility of a bisexual male for us, for like a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one person contact me, and things were going good. The conversation was going okay. I felt like there might be something a little bit off, but things were going okay. And then they asked for my name, and I was not, fine, this is my name, this is who I am, because I'm not hiding anything. Especially, like, I'm on a bisexual gay hookup site. I'm not hiding anything. And if anyone knows that you can go online, you can put anyone's name in online, and a lot of times there's like free background check things that people will that they'll offer to you and stuff. You put in someone's name and it pulls up, these are everyone in the area that has this name or something like that, and here's some of their information. And the free ones are always easy to tell because the information they give out is such outdated information. And so, but this person was, first off, threatened to tell my wife. And I was like, do you want her number? Because she knows. Like, she knows I'm on this site. She knows what I'm here for. She knows I'm looking for this for bisexual males for the potential of a threesome. And then started giving me information, like a phone number we had, a landline phone number we hadn't used in like over a decade.
Well over a decade. It was super old.
It was such an old phone number. I was like, dude, go ahead and send that text. Do it. I'd love to see, because it's a landline. So it's not a surprise that right afterwards, when I called him out on that, he blocked me.
No, that's not surprising at all.
Nope, suddenly, like, he's gone. Just absolutely gone. But he was like, he was trying to extract money from me. Like, he was gonna, I'll tell everyone, and you're gonna pay me like $500. I'm like, dude, does this ever work for you? Has this ever worked for you? I doubt it.
Oh, I hope not. I hope
not. Well, I mean, because people are really concerned about discretion, but I'm like, again, you knew right? I was on the site and everything. You knew I was open. My face was there in my profile picture. So I don't care. I don't care about that anymore. I'm not. We've been doing it so long that I really don't care about our faces. And well, I don't care about our faces, but like, I'm not.
I think we're comfortable with our level of I can't think of what the correct word is. So, just visibility.
There you go.
There is the word.
Being out. Well, that comes from me, like, also posting stuff.
Yes.
Of us online. We've been pretty open about that for a while now. So, with the pink flags, like, another way the pink flags can kind of.
So, for discretion, so since people just wanting to be discreet, and if they're very, very, like, I can't think of the word. My brain is not good with words today. Anyway, so if they're very much on the we need to be discreet, what could change it from the pink flag to the red flag is when they won't give you a name, even if it's just the name they're using for the lifestyle.
Well, yeah, because we understand that people they won't use their real names. They'll use fake names that they've come up with for lifestyle communications because they're afraid of themselves getting out there, especially new people that are really unsure of how this works and fully understand that.
Right, and like what kind of people they're going to meet.
So we go, well, can you give us a name? And they're like, no, I'm not going to give you a name. Okay, and another one would be a picture. When you start getting to a level of talking where you might actually get into any kind of meetup, I know for us, and I know for a lot of other people that I've talked to, I want to see who you are. I want to know.
Right, I want to know what the person I'm meeting is going to look like.
Well, again, like 50% of this is physical attraction. Mm-hmm. At least 50% of this. So I have to, if I'm not physically attracted to you, or you're not physically attracted to the people or the couple, we're not going to.
I mean, at least for my case, when it comes to the pictures, I'm just, or do they have crazy eyes, or is there, do they just look like they're in a bad mood?
Crazy.
Like, I'm going more for like facial expressions.
Are they a serial killer? We don't know. Let's find it.
Can I decipher this from the photo in advance? Yeah.
Are they a pod person? Are they that bug guy from Men in Black? Is their skin looking all weird? Is that what you're saying?
Because I won't really know until we actually like.
Well, no, yeah. I enjoy. I'm also with you now, and I think that's come a long way being with you and doing like our virtual meetings with you. Is I'm more comfortable now after we've actually had some sort of physical contact with them. Either it's a virtual meeting or it's a physical meeting. We've gone to dinner. Like, I do get comfortable seeing pictures and talking to them, but I'm still wary. We've been burned a lot.
We have been. I mean, it is the risk of the lifestyle, putting yourself out there, trying to meet people. You're going to get burned. You're
going to get burned. You're going to get ghosted. But yeah, so like if they don't give us a name, that's one.
Right. They don't give us the picture.
No picture whatsoever. And then the other one would be like we schedule a virtual meeting. Fine. All right. When we schedule a virtual meeting, a lot of times now, especially now, we're looking for couples. And we are very open when we are saying we're looking for a couple.
Right, and we
I want-
expect both partners.
We expect both partners to be there during a virtual meeting. So if we schedule a virtual meeting and they go, yeah, sure, we're going to have a virtual meeting. Sometimes a red flag would be if they can't keep canceling.
Yep, they keep canceling.
Or they just can't set aside a time or a day to do it. We're pretty open about what our schedule is because they ask us, what's your schedule? We're available this time. So we're available weekends at night.
And we are understanding, like, stuff comes up, people have to reschedule. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes the person we scheduled it with forgets. We're all human.
Or some sort of family thing comes
Right.
up.
Yeah.
We are very much out there that, look, your family comes first. Don't worry about us.
Right.
We're not going anywhere. We'll still be here. Go take care of whatever's going on with your family right now. You
Right.
deal with that. So we are fairly laid back, and for someone who's going to like cancel a meeting, if they cancel a meeting, I think we give them like 2 tries.
Yes.
It's really like about 2 tries. Like, you cancel twice on us, and we're like, look, we're giving you, usually, even at that time, it's usually about a week or 2. We've also given them as well to schedule a meeting, and we go, no. We're
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing, too. Like, if we're like, all right, so, like, if it becomes obvious that the other couple's schedule is more conflicting than ours, we will be like, you tell us when.
Yeah.
And if they never tell us when, then it just never happens.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
We don't have the time. We have stuff going on, and a lot of people that I've talked to, they really do think that, like, you're just a porn star, and we're just laying around looking for sex all the time, and we're not.
Oh,
we
no.
have real lives. We have things we do. We have jobs. We have
Books
our own
to
kids.
read.
Books to read. Cats to cuddle. All kinds of stuff.
Right.
We are busy people. Actually, I was just listening to one of our last podcasts, and Ripley made another cameo in the background, and as I was listening to it, I was walking and I heard a meow, and I was looking around me, just going, "Is there a cat around me somewhere?" I was like, "Oh, it's on the podcast." It was in my earphone, my headphones. So yeah, if anyone knows, if you ever hear a meow, and it's probably just Ripley, she just wants to get into the room and cuddle.
The nice thing about virtual meets is they also help to determine, so another pink flag for us is when only one partner is doing all of the talking. And we consider this a pink flag because when you start talking to us,
I do all the talking.
you
for
do all the
starters.
talking. I won't be joining the conversation until much later. And even when I do join the conversation, unless I have something specific to add, I do tend to do a lot of listening or
You're not much of a small
reading.
talker.
I'm not, and I do try to be very upfront with people, and if you have specific questions for me, I can answer your questions.
Yeah, but that's just random questions. You're not
But
gonna be like, "How
hey,
you doing?"
how's it going?
Or
I
like,
can't tell you.
a lot of people, and this is the frustration that we've talked about with friends of ours and stuff. A lot of people, I'm working. I'm not going to stop and do small talk with you. We're not going to just have a conversation about nonsense or absolutely nothing,
Right,
or definitely not a sexual conversation.
Not at work,
While I'm at work. I'm at work. I have a job to do.
right?
I need to get my job done. I can't be sitting here on my phone, texting somebody.
But the virtual meet is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for us to, showcase the fact that I am here.
You are a real person.
And it's an opportunity for the other couple, if they are also like us, in which one partner does a majority of the speaking, to also showcase that their partner is there.
Because you don't do a lot of the speaking, I think we are also very lenient towards other couples where one partner does not do a lot of speaking also.
Yes, but we do expect the other partner to join the conversation at some point.
Yeah, you'll join. You still join, like, even though we don't.
I will. And we've had couples in the past that have contacted us, and even like while you started talking to them, they're like, "Oh, we need to talk to Sue now. Like, she needs to join the conversation now." And we will.
We will.
We will. I will grumble the whole way.
Well,
but I will join the conversation.
No, okay, but wait. It does depend on how they come about it. If
Yes.
they come out like really
I know,
forceful that you need like, hi, I'm so and so, and then I introduce myself and like, we need to talk to Sue now, like right now. Like, we haven't even got into like the vetting process.
I don't think anybody's.
Yet, you know?
I don't think anybody's ever actually like done it like that.
There have been people that have done it.
Have they?
They
Okay.
have, and I've already rejected them. I'd be like, no, sorry, like it's not gonna work out.
Right.
Because a lot of those are also they start asking for like pictures, but when we ask for pictures, we ask for like I want a picture of like,
a normal picture. Just
I always say I don't need a naughty picture. I just want a picture of you like together as a couple.
I'm not basing. I don't base any of my judgments on any of like the naughty pictures that people have on their profiles.
Nope, you base it all on stuff like, hey, look at them. They're a couple. They're sitting at a barbecue somewhere, or they're on vacation.
They look like they're having a good time. They look like they like to be together. They look, they look like fun. They look
like they're having fun.
Right? They look like they're having fun, and nobody, you can tell when people feel awkward in their photos, and nobody looks good in a photo they feel awkward in.
No one looks good in a photo they feel awkward.
So you looking for the photos where you can tell they're relaxed.
Yes, relaxed, and they're having a good time.
Right. Which is, and again, it's what I love about the virtual me. So like I get to be in my bed. I get to be comfortable. I get to be relaxed, and I'm
in your pajamas.
In my pajamas, and I'm hoping for not my actual pajamas. I have to.
Your actual pajamas are you naked. Those are my favorite pajamas.
I don't like sleeping in clothing. It moves.
I love your naked
it's
pajamas.
It's terrible. It's Anyway, but and I'm hoping for the same thing for like the couples that like we asked to do a virtual meet with us, that they are also going to be comfortable in their space and relaxed.
I think what also makes them more comfortable in their space would be also the fact that there's no expectations.
Right, there is no expectations.
Like we're not expecting to have sex with you because we're in bed, and we might be 70 miles apart or something like that. That we're not meeting up right now. We're not together right now.
Right.
I mean, some people have asked me like, "Oh, is it going to be like a sexy virtual meeting?" I was like, "No, dude. We just need to talk to you, see if you're real, see if you're actual people."
And we've had people be like, "Oh, like now that we did the whole conversation, you guys want to take your clothes off?" No, dude. No, like we're done now.
Good night. We're going to bed.
Good night.
But yeah, so we have the people that if we do have a virtual meeting, and we get to the point, because we've had this happen a couple times, if we get to the point where we're actually in the meeting, we set up the meeting, we're in the meeting, and we're waiting for them, and they never show up.
Right.
That doesn't even get you a second chance.
No, because in this instance, like we've been talking to them.
We've been talking to her a while, and
because we start sending texts and like reminders to make sure everything is still on. Because again, we recognize life happens.
Yeah,
things come up.
Usually at that point, I have someone's like at least a phone number, or if we're talking on like FetLife or something, like even Reddit.
So we're messaging back and forth.
We're messaging back and forth like, hey, remember we have the meeting later on today. We're having it at this time. We'll send you the link so we can get into that. And even beforehand, there's been a couple of times where literally minutes beforehand, we're like, hey, we got it. We're setting it up. We're gonna go get ready to have that meeting in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and we'll get into the meeting. And then nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's silence. And then we get ghosted and go, well, I guess that wasn't going to work.
Right. That wasn't going to happen.
And some people actually have the gall to contact me afterwards and be like, oh, sorry, I missed the meeting last night. Let's just schedule another one. Like, no, you missed it.
We were talking to you like 1 minute, and then the next minute you were gone.
Yes. So one of the red flag would be in a virtual meeting.
In a virtual meeting.
If you're a couple, we expect a couple.
Yep.
We have had a couple of times. This is where we start being capable of weeding out the quote couples. Because there's a lot of guys who are interested in the lifestyle. They're interested in getting into like a non-monogamy, and they have this notion that we're somehow going to convince their wife. If we just start talking to them first,
Right.
then
By osmosis.
just their wife is going to be like, wow, that's... We actually had a one or two guys that actually contacted us to say, we should play together first, and then I'll go back and tell my wife how awesome it was, and then she's gonna
want to join.
She's gonna want to join in next time. Like, absolutely not.
No, that's not how that goes down.
We are very flat out. I'm not gonna help you cheat on your wife.
No.
At all. If your wife is not knowledgeable about us in any way, shape, or form, it's not happening. And we've had some guys show up in some very...
Their basement.
Interesting places. Yeah, their basement. And one of the fun things about you, which I love very much about you, is you'll have your phone on your side next to me, and you'll just type out like text and like sneakily like just hand it over. And I remember that guy in his basement. You were just like, why is he in his basement?
It's like, does he not have a room?
Does he not have a room? And, you know, come to find out that he was trying to cheat on somebody. And these are things you do pick up. You pick them up, even if it's just talking. Something just feels off about people. And that's why I like the virtual meetings. I'm very comfortable. I'm very relaxed. I'm in my own space. It's free.
It's free.
It's free. And it doesn't have to be long, because that's another thing when we talk to people about a virtual meeting. I'm not talking, how long is this going to be? I need like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't need anything longer than that. We don't need, if we talk for like hours at a time,
that's awesome.
You know, that means we've made a connection. We're connecting. But I really just need 15, 20 minutes to make sure that first we know you are who you say you are. And we are who we say we are. We're showing you that. Like, Sue, a lot of people, guys and couples, have been skeptical as to whether or not you actually are the woman who I post on Reddit and on FetLife.
Yeah. And there's been a handful of times where I either did not respond, you know, in the assumed manner that somebody who is... I guess kind of internet famous.
That's right.
Yeah, should respond, or I just didn't, you know, respond in a timely fashion at all, and the couples have assumed that I don't exist.
Oh, it's been immediate too. Like, we've been shut up immediate. Boom, like shutters closed, no service. Everything's gone. We're going. We're leaving right now. So yeah, we've had that happen a lot, and these are the things that we've come to find out. Well, just as we go, and we tell other people too, the newer people, a lot of people we've talked to are like, virtual meetings, that sounds awesome. I want to try that. And they do it themselves, and they do it now too. Because, again, the lifestyle is expensive. Going out to eat for dinner is expensive. It
is. And in my case, I've got like...
Oh, you got all kinds of allergies. So we have to pick the restaurant. More often than not, when we go out to dinner with somebody, we have to pick the restaurant, or at least we have to vet a couple of restaurants to find out if there's actually something on the menu that you can eat, which... we've had meetings where people get annoyed at that. They go, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make Sue sick just to have a meeting with you. It's not going to happen. So, you know, that's expensive. Travel's expensive. Just the time commitment alone to go and meet someone. Yeah. And then on top of that, you do have some people, not all, but you do have some people that expect that if we show up somewhere in person, we're immediately gonna have sex, regardless of how this is going to work out.
Right, and the
meetup itself is just consenting to having sex, and that's not us at all. We do tell others that ask us information or ask us tips and tricks and whatnot. Like, don't plan a first date.
No,
go out, meet up with these people. Talk about your boundaries, talk about your consent, talk about what you're into, what you're not into, all that stuff. Find out what their boundaries are, what they're into, what they're looking for. One of the most common questions that I ask anyone that talks to me about the possibility of meeting me is, what kind of play are you looking for? Because I know so many people come at this with not a script or like a fantasy of some sort in their mind already, and I want to know what that entails.
Right.
Because a lot of times it matches ours, which is very nice, but there's also very many times it does not match us at all, and they've completely misconstrued what our dynamic is, which is weird considering we are very well documented as to what our dynamic is. So that's something that comes up as well. So we go, all right, we want to make sure that everything is going to gel. We want to make sure you are people that we actually want to spend time with. Mm-hmm. And even that, like a virtual meeting does not guarantee another meetup.
No.
It's just saying, hey, this is us.
Right.
I want to see who you are. Another one would be for a pink flag turning into a red flag would be we start trying to schedule anything, or even we're talking about scheduling, if we were going to schedule a meetup, a physical meetup somewhere, and they start talking, I'm only available Mondays and Thursdays.
But very specific times. So like we have friends who work overnight, so we have to accommodate their schedule.
We accommodate. That's different.
We have work. Everybody's work schedules are different, and like we understand that. We've played with people where their work schedule was very varied, but they also knew their schedule for like an entire month at a time.
Yeah.
And so, well, I do recognize maybe not everybody wants to give out a whole lot of personal information. If people aren't in a general way forthcoming about why they can only meet at like Tuesday at lunchtime.
Well, and again, I know people have different schedules. I know people work overnights and work, so most people work days that we've met or even talked to, but I do know people work overnights and people have different schedules throughout the day. But I'm always wary when someone only plays during the day.
Yes.
Like, I'm only available during the day. And it's usually, especially if, like, they have to be, they're only available till, like, 2 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you know what 2 p.m. is? That's when people get out of, like, school. Mm-hmm. And that's when kids start getting out of school. That's when, someone who has a first shift, they start coming home from that first shift around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So now granted, again, there's people that's their schedule. And I understand that that's fine. That's their schedule, but it just gives me pause. Mm-hmm. Because I know that is a potential for you hiding something.
Yes.
And that's, again, when I want to do it. I want to do a virtual meeting, or I want to do more meetings. I want to talk to you more. I want to find out more about you and why that is. Another one that would really, it's kind of one that to me is kind of a pink flag, but it's not at the same time. It really involves single males. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole, when I ask if they can host, and they're like, absolutely, I cannot host. I have roommates. And I understand now. It sets off a potential flag in my mind. But I do also understand that, like, in this economy, like, no one can afford anything.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still weird to me to have, like, a 40-year-old single male that doesn't have an apartment. It has, like, I have multiple roommates that they can't know I'm having sex. Like, well, that's okay. But then again, I try to follow that up with more meetings or more, like, discussions with them to find out what's going on. Because, again, it could be. It's entirely possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
But, we have had people who, well, back to the couple thing, we did have at least one couple where we asked for a couple, we had a meeting set up with a couple, and then it just ended up being the guy.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't reschedule. We asked, we can reschedule,
right?
That, and they refused to reschedule. And I'm not gonna say yes or no, but we shut that down because I want to talk to a couple. If I'm asking to talk to a couple and we're planning on talking to a couple, I want to talk to a couple. But to get along. I don't understand that logic of she's not going to find out if this happens, because she will.
Right? Yeah.
Your wife, your girlfriend is going to find out. It may not be with us. It's not going to be with us, definitely, because we're going to call you out long before. But somehow, somewhere down the line, she's going to find out. And it's not going to go the way you think it is in your fantasy.
Right, yeah.
She's not going to get all hot and bothered and be like, ooh, I want to join in. It's not going to happen that way. And we have... I think when I was talking to one of our friends, our good friends... actually, this past weekend, I was talking to him, and we were talking about all kinds of stuff involving lifestyle, and I just turned to him and I was like, I'm getting too old for drama. My body just cannot handle drama anymore. I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worn out from drama. I just really cannot do it anymore. What other red flags do we have here? Oh,
For single guys,
single guys.
Unrealistic willingness to travel. So we've discussed this with some of the single guys we've known, and they have insisted in like defense of this that like they are also willing to travel long distances, but it's not. I think it's a combination of like this willingness to travel incredibly long distances for something unknown and like an eagerness too.
Oh,
they're like, I can be there now, and you're like, we are 5 hours away.
We're even like 3 hours away. Like I'll get contacted at like 5 p.m. Be like, I can be there tonight. You're 3 hours away. That's a long drive for you. And on top of that, we don't host. We have older kids. We can't host at our place, and then hotels cost money.
Right?
And some of those guys that are willing to travel, I think it goes back into the eagerness as well. They're not only just willing to travel, but they're also willing to foot the bill for like a hotel for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how expensive it can be to get a hotel room tonight.
Yeah.
Like I haven't booked it like a week in advance or like a month in advance. Tonight. That's where I go, are you? No. Who are you hiding from?
Right? There wasn't anybody between these 2 points.
Yeah, we've had people from like middle of New York or something like that, and like I'll travel there tonight. One of them was on the other side of our state, and when I looked it up, because every time someone tells me where they are, I look up. Google Maps is a thing; it exists.
Right? How far away?
I can put in the town that you're going to be in, or that you say you're in, and I look at how far. And when I put in it was like 3.5 hours away, and he was prepared to come like that day. I'll be there tonight. And I remember telling you, he was one of the first ones that contacted us, and I remember telling you, and you're like, so he's married, right? Like. Because who's he hiding from? There's no one. There's no one in a 3 hour radius around him that he could find.
Right. Because 3 hours, we're a small state, so 3 hours gets you into a couple of other states.
Yeah, three hours gets us into Maine. I could go to Maine in 3 hours.
We can drive through Connecticut in 3 hours. We
can cross past Rhode Island in 3 hours. Like this is a long distance to go that someone's driving. So that gives me pause. I also love it because when guys contact me on like Reddit or FetLife to meet up, and they always want to meet up with you, and it's I can't say it's not a weird like ego boost that I have guys from all over the country and the world that want to meet up with you, because it's a bit of an ego boost for me. But I mean, it's a bit of a running joke with you and me when a single guy from a long distance, we're talking like Florida or like New Mexico or something like that, wants to come. In fact, I think we talked about it during your gangbang one, but there was that guy from supposedly New Mexico or something like that, or Texas, and I'll start talking to them, and you tell me all the time, yeah, I should just block them. Just stop talking to them, and I can't.
Just stop.
I get fascinated by talking to them. I want to see how far it goes.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a bit of a running joke.
It's why you do the talking, is because I have no patience. I'd be like, nope, red flag. Done.
Everything would be a red flag with you. Like, we would never swing if you were the one doing the talking. You'd be like, I scheduled a meeting for Friday night. He says he's available Friday night. He's no longer available. Are we sure? I'm not sure. Red flag. Done. Be like, calm down, sir. But no, I always, especially with the guys at long distance, there's a bit of a running joke between the two of us, and I will turn to you and be like, so, what are the odds that he travels for work?
Oh my God. Yeah, I know, right?
Because
that's the other one when we're like, oh wow, that's quite the distance you're willing to come. Oh, well, I come that way for work. Wait.
You travel to Western Massachusetts for work?
For work?
I travel to Boston. The Boston's still a distance. It's about 2 hours away from us. Like, Boston's a distance from us.
Those are always the fun ones. I'm going to be in Boston this weekend. We're nowhere near.
We're nowhere near Boston.
Boston.
What do you mean? Massachusetts isn't just Boston. Like, there's more to the state than just Boston.
Right? For every state that's out there, we are all more than our one major city.
Like, I wouldn't talk, if I was traveling to, like, Texas, I wouldn't be like, hey, we're going to be in Houston. They'd be like, well, we're not anywhere near Houston. It's got to be close enough, right? Can't be that far.
Right.
Well, like, we tend to go down to Florida. We go to Disney World and stuff like that. And I'm not going, well, we're going to be in Orlando. I know you're in the Keys. Oh.
Up in the panhandle there.
We'll just mix it up. Yeah, sure. I'll Uber down. But no, like, all these guys, it never fails. I was like, I travel for work. There's not that many jobs out there that are travel for work jobs.
And fewer bring you to Western Mass.
I don't think any bring you to Western Mass.
I'm sure there's a handful. We do have the casino now.
Candle salesman for, like, Yankee Candle? I don't know.
They don't travel, you know that.
No, they don't travel at all. I know that. I'm just trying to think. Dairy farmer? I don't know. What else could it be? Checking out cows? Who knows? I don't know what this stuff is. But yeah, so that's another thing. Like, this, it's just it's a willingness to travel. Like, we'll travel a good distance. We
will, yeah. I mean, especially now that the kids are older, we are more willing to travel further away from home. But at the same time, you know, we do like to play. If we are traveling a long distance, we do like to plan, see if we can get a hotel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we will travel. The most I think we'll travel is an hour and a half away from us. For one day, without a hotel.
Without a hotel.
Any further than that, you start getting further than that, and we're gonna get a hotel. I want to get a hotel, and I want to kind of make it a weekend where I have some time with just you. Mm-hmm. But then that goes into other things that people don't realize. Like, I gotta take time off of work. You know, I can't just pick up and go, 3 hours away from us anytime I want to. I have stuff I have to do. I have my job. I only have so much time I can take off at work. That kind of stuff. So. But yeah, I'll travel too. But like, it's just I travel for work. No, you don't. Who are you? I've had people from Florida. Like, I travel there all the time for work. No, you don't. You don't travel this far. And again, like, I know you're worth it because I've been with you for 22 years now. I know you're worth it. You're worth. I traveled around the world for you. Just because I could, because I love you.
Oh, I love you too. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I've said it all the time. When they come out with like these huge distances that they're willing to travel, they don't know. Maybe they've seen the videos. The videos are like, what, a minute?
It's a minute. It's when I load them up to Red Gifts, it only allows me to do a minute at a time. But we are on Twitter now, so I can load like longer videos on Twitter. But I think Twitter still has like a limit that I can only do.
But still, they don't actually know what they're traveling for.
I mean, it looks like good pussy. I mean, I know it is. But like, I do good. Well, I do well. I do well making sure that you look fantastic.
You make me look fantastic, and I appreciate it.
It's not hard. It's really not that hard. You do most of the work. I'm just there to capture it on camera.
But I mean, it's a very eager, unrealistic willingness to travel for something that's not really guaranteed.
Well,
they don't really know. They have an idea. They think they know, but like they don't
top of that,
actually know.
One of the reasons why we also like if we travel more than like 2 hours is going to be a hotel is any play session with us is going to last only about 2 hours. So someone's willing to travel 6 hours round trip in a night.
Right.
That just seems unrealistic to me in any way, shape, or form. And that's a red flag. That's something that I go, red flag right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, another red flag that's not involving like meetups or anything like that. When people talk to me, because guys will talk to me. I was actually talking to one of the guys at your gangbang last time. The guy we've played with a couple times. And it is just this... I don't know how to say it so much. It's really this notion that you have to drag information out of them, like any information at all. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm talking to somebody, if you introduce yourself to me, awesome, say hi, tell me your name. But if I have to drag every little bit of information out of you,
yeah.
And you're talking about meeting up. Awesome. What's your name? I need to know your name. Let me know your name. If I have to ask you like 3-4 times just for your name, or like where are you located, or what is your relationship status? If I have to ask you multiple times for your relationship status and you still won't give it to me, it's a no.
Yeah.
Because you're not telling me your relationship status. I'm going to assume right off the bat you're attached to somebody
that doesn't know.
Either you're dating someone or you're married to someone and they don't know. And again, I'm not helping you cheat. But yeah, if I'm dragging information out of you, I'm not going to do it. And I don't have the time to do it. I just don't have any time.
No.
And it's not worth my time.
No. It's not worth anyone's time. Nobody should have to drag the information out of the person that they're interacting with.
Well, you're not going to drag information of us. Like, we're open books. Ask me a question. You know. I don't think I have any more red flags at the moment.
Those are our real like red flags.
Those are red flags. I mean, the other ones would be really for contacting me if you start coming at me and it's all about you being a bull or an alpha or something like that, and you're just being rude to me. Rudeness gets you nowhere with me.
Yeah.
Except for maybe some sarcasm, and then just I'm going to annoy you for as long as I can before you either block me or I end up having to block you.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to get you.
Exactly.
It's not going to get you a meetup.
Like, they aren't necessarily red flags, but they're, like, immediate, like, turn-offs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we have very precise age limits. And it is a small age range on the surface. I mean, in reality, I think
it really isn't. Most people are around the same. Most people that are around our age
10 under, that's like 30 years of.
Yeah, most people around our age have a similar age range. So if and again, it's not super set in stone. Like we have, like there was one of the guys that we played with a couple years ago. When we were a little bit younger, but he was 25, which was, I think at the time, our age range was around like 28 because it was, 10 under me and 10 over you. And he was like 25 or something. And So that was under our age range, but not a whole lot. So it's not super set in stone. And I think we've talked to like couples and guys who even now, like our age range for you is like 53, 54.
Mm-hmm.
So I have talked to guys that are like 55, 56 and in couples, and that's still kind of within our age range, and that's fine. But once you start getting, close to 60,
Yeah,
65, 67,
that's far over.
or
And
even like you start getting for younger than that, like because now our age range is around 30. It's
yeah,
about 30 still. You start getting into like 24, 23, 21.
no,
like
that's not.
It's not going to happen. We're
It's
not
not
going to.
gonna
That's an
happen.
immediate no.
It's an immediate no, and don't like being told no.
Well, another thing
Because
that
of their
goes
age,
into the age, not just the age, but like other things, is if we say no and you keep coming at us
Yeah.
and asking, or you get like all upset and offended because we've said, I'm sorry, this is not, you're outside of our age range, or you're outside of something that we don't just subscribe to.
Mm-hmm.
Just take the no. It's a no. I'm sorry, it's a no. As much as it appears, because you do have a lot of like party and gangbang videos and stuff like that I posted, as much as it appears that you will quote fuck anyone, you will not fuck anyone.
But yeah, that is not
Most of the people in our videos are regular people we play with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the same person, maybe a different angle or something like that. It's all the
Right.
same people.
But yeah, I mean, just because you're not for us doesn't mean there isn't somebody else out there.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people out there. Just you gotta find them. And I'm also, another one for me is immediate no would be any guy that contacts me and asks if you'll take their virginity. Like, nope,
No.
sorry.
No, that's no.
Will you take my virginity?
No.
Will not. I won't take anyone's virginity either.
No.
So no, not me either.
Absolutely not.
And that goes into like there are some people that will contact us and they'll say, hey, one of my favorite, like, oh, this is going to be an immediate no anyway, but let's see where they go, is when they contact me and go, so I've read your profile and I know I'm not what you're looking for, but
So many people.
I'd still like to play with you, and I'll be fine. Age is only a number. No, it's not. Or I know you're looking for a bisexual male, but you're not one. That's a no. That's not what we're looking for. So it's going to be a no. I get a lot of contacts all the time. I have to constantly keep going through, and I can't even keep them straight sometimes. Like people will contact me like months later and be like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And be like, "No, I don't. Do you know how many people have contacted me since the last time I talked to you?" So yeah, profiles. I have a profile. We have profiles for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Read them. The information is in there, and that's not just us. That's anybody.
Yeah.
If you're searching for something that profiles, read the profile.
Read the profile.
That's what it's there for. And if you have any questions, ask those questions, but ask them like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever just go into an initial confrontation or a contact assuming we're in some sort of play situation. We're talking all sexy or anything like that. Like, do not do that.
Please don't.
It's rarely going to get you anywhere, or anywhere what you're actually looking for. One thing that hasn't happened to us recently, but did happen to a couple friends of ours, that and that was changing something at the last moment. Like they had already set up, they were going to play. It was going to be awesome.
Right, discussed all the boundaries.
Everything was all discussed. They were actually in the point of getting ready to meet. Like our friends they were getting ready to walk out the door to go to the hotel to meet up.
Right, and then the couple they were talking to brought up a last minute kink that they were interested in, and it was boundary crossing. It was a no.
it was a boundary crossing. No, like, hey, that's something you want to talk about beforehand. Like, if you have kinks like that, look, talk to me. That's fine.
Right.
Tell me your kinks.
No.
I want to know that. That's why I have a meeting with you. I want to know your kinks. I want to know what you're looking
right.
for.
There's no reason to be ashamed, but not everybody's going to be into what you're into, and like that's okay.
That's okay. There are some people we play with, our friends, that they do stuff that we're not into. Sometimes it's like urination. Like, they will do that stuff.
Water sports.
Water sports, yeah. Nope, not for me. I can't even look at it. It's not something gets me going. But you know what? It gets them going, and fine. But at the same time, there are stuff that we do together that we do enjoy, so we can still play together. We just not have... All of our kinks don't have to line up.
Right. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect.
It's not going to be absolutely perfect. If it's absolutely perfect, you're getting catfished. Just saying. They're not a real couple.
Be suspicious of perfection.
Yes. Unless it's you. You're perfect for me.
Aw, you are perfect for me as well.
I do my best. I study you and then try to match it.
Right.
That's about it. I don't think we have really any more that I can think of at the moment that we really would go into. But you know what? I want to hear from you guys out there. Is there anything that you know or that you deem a red flag?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is there something you go, if I meet a couple or I meet a single guy, this is an immediate red flag for me or for us as a couple? Like, if you're a couple out there, this is an immediate red flag. Tell us. I want to know what this is. I'm fascinated by this, and everyone has similar and different red flags, and it's really something that is...
Well, because we're all going to have slightly different boundaries.
We all have different boundaries, but it's just fascinating to me how we're all the same, but like we're so different in what we want and what we're looking for, but then at the same time, we can still match up and still have fun together. Mm-hmm. But that's what we have for today, and... We're going to come back in about 2 weeks, and we will talk to you guys again. And, yeah, hopefully anyone out there, just, again, send me questions. Send me any suggestions you have for episodes. We love hearing them. I love reading them and discussing them with Sue and, laying out plans for new episodes. But that's it. We'll talk to you guys later.